everyone, you're watching the Yo Venice Show. I'm Juliette Lamar, and in the news this week, alligators are among the cast of a new Showtime pilot being filmed near the pier, and Random Acts of Kindness Day is just around the corner, and we'll tell you where you can be most helpful this year. So stay tuned. But first, I want to tell you all about our sponsor. Santa Monica College, of more than 90 fields of study, is a leader among California's community colleges in transferring students. There's a seat for you at Santa Monica College, so find your classes today. Our top story, a local surfer, Beck Adler, you might know him, is an 18-year-old Venice local who has been taking on some big waves at Mavericks Beach in Northern California. We caught up with him for an interview and we found out what it's like to actually surf one of the big ones in this video. Check it out.
So I started surfing when I was like 2 or 3. My dad was pushing me into waves at Driftwood down in Venice. And that's pretty much where I learned. That's where I caught my first wave, and that's where I grew up surfing. I've been surfing Mavericks for like 3 years now. Going back to that day on the 8th, I caught a wave early, just like a nice fun one on the shoulder, and completed it, rode it to the channel. So that felt good. And then I was like, okay, I really want to get a bigger one. Yeah, that wave came in and I was in the perfect spot. I was like, okay, here I go. And I whipped it and I started paddling as hard as I can and get to my feet and look down the face of this thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this wave is so much bigger than I thought. But I was like confident. I was like, I got this. And I airdropped like just a little bit and just disconnected from my board, and then it's just complete like chaos. You're just getting whipped around, limbs everywhere, like don't know where you are, don't know up or down. And I don't know how big it was. It's always hard to say. I would say it's probably like between 30-40 feet maybe. It felt pretty big. I was pretty scared of big waves when I was young. Didn't really have any desire to surf big waves. I always was like interested in them, but I was always scared too. And I started surfing with Eves Bright a bunch. He's been surfing Venice since he was a kid. So I started surfing with them a bunch, and they kind of showed me like, this is what you have to do if you want to get more comfortable in bigger waves. And so I just kind of listened to them and surf with them on bigger days. And it's a hard thing to explain because like when you're out there, you're so in your head, everything's telling you no, no, no. And then all of a sudden here comes this wave and something switches and you're like, oh, this is the one. And once you hit that switch and turn your spin around and go for the wave, there's really no turning back. What's next? Well, I definitely want to obviously be at Mavericks every swell again next winter, and then for sure Jaws. That's a huge goal of mine. Well, I just want to say thanks to everyone in Venice and at home for supporting me, and thanks to my parents for supporting me. And it feels good to come home and feel the love.
And now for what's happening in your neighborhood. A new Showtime pilot has been seen being filmed near the Venice Pier last week, but what really stole the show was an unusual cast. The animal cast, that is. 6 of the members of the animal cast were real-life alligators. The new pilot is a series reimagining the film American Gigolo, originally created in 1980 as a classic film noir. The pilot filming took place on February 9th. Random Acts of Kindness Day is on Wednesday, February 17th, and what better way to celebrate the day than to help those in need by providing food. Feeding America is an organization that provides meals to those experiencing food scarcity around the nation. For every $1 that you donate, which is tax deductible, Feeding America is able to provide 10 meals to people and families who need it most. If you are in need of food or would like to volunteer for your local food pantry, the closest one is at St. Joseph Center at 204 Hampton Drive. To donate money, you can visit feedingamerica.org. Happy International Random Acts of Kindness Day. Well, that's all the news that we have for you today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm Juliette Lamar, and you take care.